Good morning, Niagara. You're tuned in to Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, the tools are ready, and the talk is always tuned up. And I'm your host, Nile Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection Workshop, where we mix a little humor, a little know-how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here it's not just about fixing cars, it's about keeping you rolling and saving you money and giving you the confidence to understand what's under the hood. From the classics to the commuters, the weird noises, and to the what the heck moments, we've got you covered. So grab your coffee, sit back, and join the crew, because this is Car Connection, your Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, and a few good laughs. And I'm Nile Motormouth Jenkins, and we're shifting into drive right here in the Car Connection Workshop. Hey, and you might even hear a story or two. It all depends on if an extra spark plug fires off in my brain, and I go, oh yeah, you ever done that? It's like, oh yeah, totally forgot all about that. Well, let's kick it in hot and heavy this morning with road conditions and whatnot. Yeah, it's still winter. So welcome to Saturday morning. If this is your weekend and you're off on a Saturday, make it a great weekend for family, friends, and whatnots. Get out there and do stuff. Yeah, shovel some snow, just for fun. And stay tuned, because we got lots to cover today. The topic is short trips versus long trips. What actually wears cars out? That's what we're going to talk about. So let's find out what we got for weather today on this glorious Saturday morning. Saturday's low will be -2 degrees between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. and the high will be 7 degrees at 12 a.m. The temperature range will feel like -21 degrees to -4 degrees. Wind will make it feel colder than the actual temperature. So dress warm, adjust your driving habits to the road conditions, and give the road crews some slack, because they're not there to make you late for a meeting or whatever you've got going on. They're out there doing the best they can to keep us safe. So keep that in mind. They're not doing what they're doing on purpose to make you late. That's your scheduling problem. Yeah. I used to deal with that in the waiting area at our shop on the Hamilton Mountain. Be like, well, how long is it going to take you to fix it? Well, it all depends on how quick we can get the parts. We get the parts and everything is shuffling along the way it should, we can have it done in a day or two. But in the real world, this could take 5 days. What? That's what you'd hear. Here it comes. I'd brace myself. I should have probably wore a helmet. It'd be like, well, how am I going to get my mother-in-law over to there and the kids after school programs, and then they got this thing and that thing going on, and I'd have to say, okay, here's the deal. At that time, our shop rate was $65, which is almost working for free today. And I'd say it's $65 whether I work on and fix your weekly, daily schedule for you, or I can be working on your car and getting it taken care of and let you look after things that you need to look after, and it's still $65 an hour. Which one would you like me to take care of first? Get on the car. Yeah, that's how I got out of that, stuck in that conversation, was I can't fix that stuff. That's not for me. Anyhow, thank you for letting me into your world this morning as I let you and invite you with open arms into my own. So thanks for stopping by. If this is your very first time joining us for the Car Connection Workshop podcast, remember you can pull this podcast from any platform that you pull your podcast from. We're there. We're on all the major platforms: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and the like. So just type us in the search box, Car Connection Workshop, bam, you'll find us. Even easier, the biggest drawer in our toolbox for you to connect with us and for us to connect with you quickly is the homepage of our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. So Mike, our webmaster, has made it simple. All the profile pages are available for our program partners, the businesses that have been a part of Car Connection for many years, for 31 years on radio, which we finished in November, and now we're into all digital. So, which is the direction we should have gone quite some time ago, because radio has changed quite a bit, especially AM. Listenership is not where it should be, and that's pretty much, we won't digress on that. It's changed. It was time for a change. So on our homepage, you'll see the logos for the program partners. Those are our sponsors. Click on the logo, then you get to connect, and you get to see everything all about them and connect to them directly. And thank you so much for doing that, because without them, you wouldn't have this podcast every day, Monday through Saturday, and you certainly wouldn't have our YouTube channel. And so in the top right-hand corner of our homepage at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com is where you can like and follow, share, ring the notification bell. There's our YouTube channel. We're just shy of 200 videos up there for you. They're all teaching videos, bringing you into control of your vehicle maintenance through the basic fundamentals of vehicle ownership. And it doesn't matter for all likes, all forms of life, all age groups, because I teach you in the videos what it is, where it is, how it works, how it breaks, and what could you have understood better about your automobile to prevent yourself from costing yourself extra expense. So if you love to keep your vehicle, learn to love your vehicle long term, regardless of mileage, and give longevity to your engine, your drivetrain, transmission, and all the other components, and stuff money back in your wallet, you're in the right place. So make sure that you like and subscribe to our YouTube video, and go all the way back to the beginning and start watching the fundamentals, and you're going to learn enough to be dangerous when it comes to the service department. That is the reason behind and the vision behind our YouTube channel, is to teach you what 40 plus years of vehicle maintenance I've learned, that I know that mileage doesn't mean anything. Age does not mean anything, but what matters is you can keep that vehicle as long as you like, with repair bills that are not out of this world, and put a lot of that folding stuff back in your wallet, because all the other white noise out there is just that. It's nothing but lies and white noise. You can keep vehicles until you're absolutely bored to tears with it, and then say, I need a change. How about that? Have you heard that conversation? There's a reason behind that. That's why this podcast is very, very useful, because there's no boundaries. Your friends, your family, your circle of groupies and peeps can listen to this podcast, can subscribe, join us on Facebook, Instagram. We put reels up there and bloopers and outtakes. Skippy takes care of that. Give you some laughs, show you that we are goofy and stupid at some point in time, and have a laugh on me. It's all good. We also have Stevensville on the web. My pops has lived there for decades, and Skippy lives in Stevensville, and she's done a great job of putting together a community website to bring the people and the business owners together. And I think that is so special, because there's some wonderful businesses in the heart of Stevensville, and great people that are passionate about the products, goods, and services they can provide to you there. So they put us up a profile page. Click on the businesses tab. You'll find us. You can email me through that profile page, and you can email me directly through the homepage of our website. So this is a bit of a long introduction, but you got to know all the moving parts to know how you can help us and how we can help you, and we can work together as a Car Connection community. In the digitals, we have a store. Our Car Connection Motormouth Crew gear is available to you in our store. Order what you like, your size, your colors, and pay safely online. It comes right to your door. What do we do with the proceeds? I get asked. A portion of the proceeds helps keep Skippy and I in coffee and snacks, okay? So we just put that right out front. We don't need a lot. We just need a little bit. The rest goes to the addiction campuses of Total Freedom, Canada and U.S., to help those who are ready and willing to deal with their addiction get to an addiction campus, either in the U.S. or Canada, and get that sucker taken care of. And there is a new life waiting for them right there at Total Freedom. They just got to grab hold. So we want to make sure we do our part to help them to get there. They don't turn down anyone. They don't take any government funding. They're non-profit, faith-based organization that knows how to deal properly with addictions. It's not a program. It is a life change, and that's what they teach there. So check them out thoroughly on our website. Click on Total Freedom and take a look at the campus in Darien Center, New York. And there's a campus. We don't have a profile page up yet, but we will get that done for Sydney, Manitoba. That is a men-only campus with Rick and Robin, facilitators that are survivors of addiction. And they have a story to tell. And who better to be the facilitators than those who have walked the walk and talked the talk. All right, let's jump in this morning. It's coffee time. So if you're just going through the drive-thru, double check your order. Lock it down in the cup holder. You don't want a splash. We call it a splash in the car. You know what I'm saying? As the cup tumbles out and it's like, no, but it's too late. Yeah, I had that happen with a cold beverage last year. The taller it gets, the worse it gets. You know, it's like, yeah, physics. Yeah, the fulcrum, boom, tipped over, hit the floor, soda everywhere. It was wonderful. All right, so welcome along if you're driving off to work at this time in the morning, 8 o'clock Saturday morning, here with Motormouth, the Motormouth Drive. Take it easy out there. Hopefully more people are still in their warm little comforters, in their cocoon, while you drive off to work. Be safe out there. Keep an eye on the other guy. That's the one bebopping in and out of traffic, thinking that, you know, there's a green-white checker waiting somewhere for him and a great big trophy and a bunch of girls going to kiss him and hug him. I don't know what it is. Yeah, to drive like that, just absolutely, I can't compute that. It's stupid. Yeah, for many reasons. I'll share that sometime, how stupid that is, and I'll unpack that for you, how stupid it is. It's costing you a ton of money to drive like that and be like that. And I can break it down for you. I got the experience. All right, next up, the topic this morning. Are you ready for it? I have touched on this subject before, but this is different. This one is different, how I'm going to unpack it for you. Short trips versus long trips. What actually wears cars out? I'm going to break that down for you. And you'll be able to keep that for yourself. So if you've got somebody in the passenger seat that can take notes, give them the 16-pack of Crayola crayons. Those are my favorite. They taste terrible. I can't tell you how I know that. Second, fold up a leaf bag, look like a laptop, and they'll think you're really doing something for you, writing those notes down. If you have to listen and re-listen again and share the podcast with your family, friends, and your circle of peeps, no problem. Head to our homepage at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. Just quickly click on the iHeartRadio. We'll take you to our iHeartRadio library, and they're all posted there. We're moving towards 100 podcasts. So we're going to be a huge celebration coming up as we prepare and begin to prepare for Season 2, Series 2, Episode 101. That's exciting because we do 6 shows a week, Monday through Saturday. I spent 31 years on radio doing 1 hour once a week. This is so much better because we can reach people from all walks of life. We have people listening in Paraguay, the United States, all across Canada, Concord, I don't even know where that is. Yeah, I do. There's a big dealership up there in Concord. We used to call it Mothership. Yeah. That was for, I believe, for Caterpillar. Concord, the big mothership for Caterpillar, I believe, is in Concord. We have a ton of listeners to this podcast in Concord, Ontario. I don't know how that happens. And a lot of other countries. So I'll keep you posted as we see the analytics. Hey, let me know where you're from. So we have our 30-day fuel savings challenge coming up, and I've got it, the demographics figured out on who's going to be playing. And this is playing to put money in your pocket and for fun. You're going to learn a bunch of stuff about yourself and your car, and at the same time, you're going to stuff some more of that folding stuff back in your wallet, and you're going to be surprised. So here's how we're going to do it. I need to play and do this right. Let's start out with 50 people, wherever you are. Whether you're in the sunshine or in the stinking freezing cold, like I think it's warmer in the freezer right now than it is outside. We're on the south shores of Lake Erie, and the lake is frozen this year. And they're out there on snowmobiles and whatnot, and I'm like, you know what? I can't fall through dry land. I just can't bring myself to head out on the ice, and you hear the ice cracking, and it's like a shotgun going off. It's like, are we going? Like, is this it? Burger City? No. So here's how we're going to do it. You can email me through our profile page at stevensvilleontheweb.ca. The links, all the links I'm mentioning are all available top right corner of our homepage at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. And I always include that information for you in the description of our YouTube videos and our podcasts. Just so if you're listening for the first time or you've been listening for a while, be patient here. We got to bring everybody into the community so they know what's up, what's going on. So the 30-day fuel saving challenge is 30 days back to back. You're going to do 30 days one way, 30 days another way. Okay? And it's going to be worth it. If you want to put money back in your pocket, I can help you big time with your car. Keeping it long term and continuing to feed money in your pocket. And every time you turn that key and start that car, you're making money. Instead of trading time for money. Home to work, home to work, home to work, home to work. Just like the hamster, on the wheel. Run. Get off, lick the ball, get a pellet, jump back on. Run. Get off, lick the ball, get a pellet, jump back on. Sounds crazy, right? That's what we do. That's what we've been taught to do, and we do it over and over and over again. That's insanity. Doing it continuously, but expecting a different outcome. So the 30-day fuel challenge is going to give you a different outcome that you're going to love it. So to join up and let me know who's in, and you got to be all in, okay, on this, all in. Because this is going to benefit you, not me. This is benefiting you. I want you to understand that. I can keep my vehicles going long term. 07, 99, 09, 03, 07, 2000, 1984, 67, 78. How do they stay going? That they're like a self-cleaning oven? Heck no. Fleet service. That's how you stay ahead of it. And you keep them going, and they'll go and go and go and go. So, everything I'm teaching you isn't for my benefit. It's for yours. It's your benefit. You're going to reap the reward of what I know. As you sow, so shall you reap. So here's where you're going to reap the first time. Send me an email through our website form at stevensvilleontheweb.ca. Click on the businesses tab. You'll find our profile. Send me an email there. Quicker and even easier, if you like, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com, ccbusnet.com. There's a website form there. Shoot me an email. 3 things. Who you are, where you are, and the vehicle you drive. And in your words, tell me you're all in. First 50 get to do this first round with me. I will coach you all the way, and then you'll have to report in. And it's going to be by email. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to learn a lot of things, and you're going to be putting money back in your pocket. And that's on one car. If I could save you $100 a month on one car, bare minimum, $100, are you getting a $1,200 raise this year from your job? It's a yay or nay. Yes or no? Are you? You have to answer that. If the answer is no, first 50. I'll take on 50 the first round, and if it goes well, we'll up it to 100. And I'll teach 100 how to do this. And then once you've learned it, what do you do next time? Because everything I teach you has a pattern. And what do? Rotate the pattern. You don't even have to think outside the box. Just rotate the pattern. When you get to the top, go back to the bottom. When you get to the bottom, go back to the top. Rotate the pattern. Do the same thing every week. Do the same thing the next week, and you'll put money back in your pocket. So again, at the very least, first 50 that sign up and say, I'm all in for the 30-day fuel savings challenge. You do 30 days one way, 30 days the other way. And then you're going to see how much you're throwing down the toilet, out the window of the car, in the bushes. Just let me know where you drive. I'll be there to collect it. Absolutely. If I lose $2 in the driveway, I will trip you getting there to find it. Yeah. Email me. Say I'm all in. So 3 things. Again, who you are, where you're located, and the vehicle you drive. And that, in your own words, you're all in for the 30-day back-to-back challenge, fuel savings challenge. Minimum, put $100 back in your pocket a month. That's $1,200. Could you take a little vacation on $1,200? Could you pay down some debt? Could you put it in a kitty and reserve it for vehicle maintenance? You've got it covered. Right? How cool is that? All right, let's jump in. We got to say thank you to Crystal Ridge Dream Center, serving men, women, children, single moms. They got programs for single moms. They got programs for the kids after school, mentoring, meals, lots of love and hope. And also they feed them. They feed the small humans after school for you. How cool is that? They feed out the door about 200 plus people twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. And they're changing lives one at a time in the Niagara region. And I love that. I love letting people know about that. I'm very familiar with the program. And for 31 years, Car Connection has always come alongside a local, nonprofit, faith-based organization that's making a difference in people's lives right in our very own backyard. So check them out and, search your heart. How would you get involved? What could you do to help them? All that information you can find by clicking on their logo on our homepage at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. Thank you to Earl and Louise Grant, phenomenal car couple. This husband and wife team is phenomenal. They have over 25 years experience in providing quality, low mileage, fair priced automobiles in the Toronto area, worth your drive. If you only got to drive say 60 minutes, 90 minutes to get to a quality vehicle, low mileage, fair prices, and it's spotless, that's a deal right then and there. They do in-house leasing and financing, and they have earned the right to the title of Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store. So if they don't have the vehicle you're looking for, tap into the resources. Let them do the legwork. They've got 25 years experience. Lots of resources to find that vehicle to suit your specific needs. So check in with Earl and Louise Grant, City Auto Sales and Leasing. Let them know that Car Connection sent you. And you'll be able to buy with confidence and be treated with nothing less than honesty and integrity. To our certified financial planning professionals, my brothers from other mothers, Lock in with them, folks. Book that hour and a coffee. It's complimentary. These two guys I've been working with for well over 20 years, and I can tell you, you're not going to tell them anything they have not heard or dealt with before. And they don't need any more clients. They don't. In 2007, I said, guys, could you do something to teach people how to save money on their car repairs, and set that budget aside and prepare for the next vehicle? Yes. That's why they're doing it, because they like what we're doing with Car Connection, and you're a part of Car Connection right now listening to us. You have access to a full hour and a coffee. That's a discovery meeting. No sales, no gimmicks, no poking in the chest, no laughing at you directly. No, I'm just kidding. No condemnation. We all make mistakes. We all don't have the answers to everything. Get your answers from our certified financial planning professionals, two of the best in all of Canada. And they've been decorated. And you'll never hear them say that. They're very humble. They work with IG Wealth Management, one of the major companies in the world, managing trillions of dollars for people. And whether you have $1 or $10 or $100, they will work with you. So if you have portfolios at the bank, you need to get them out of there and get them working hard for you instead of you hard for them. Debt retirement, estate planning, powers of attorneys, life insurance, and critical illness insurance, and mortgages. I wouldn't think of getting a mortgage anywhere else. I have everything I just talked about with these two guys, so I'm talking from experience. Don't wait another minute. You think you're in over your eyeballs with debt, you need to sit and talk to them about it and let them formulate a game plan for you. But I ask this in return. Don't waste their time, okay? If you're just a tire kicker, then don't bother. But if you're ready to say, you know what, I need some help. I need my questions answered. Because if you're taking information from someone who's not standing where you want to be, don't do it. My professor would say, nod, be respectful, and run like the wind. So that's Tony Miele, Larry Tetro. Connect and get that hour and a coffee organized. Well, we have two types of vehicles out there. That's all. You'd say, well, hey, Motormouth, there's more than one. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. We better have our morning coffee together. See what happens on the 6th day of the week? My mind is going. And the guys in the shop would say, Motormouth, you can't lose what you never had. Thanks, guys. I love you too. Yeah. Love you. Bye. What do you mean, bye? You can go home. Yeah. Go home now. All right. Your favorite morning beverage, whatever it is. Let me know in an email. What's your favorite morning beverage? Mine's high octane. Not a penny less, especially Saturday morning. We count it down here, 3, 2, 1, and have a swiggy together. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Man, I'd put that in my pocket if I could have a takeout all day long. That's yummy. Simply marvelous, is my good friend who passed away just last year. Willie Whooper. Yep, I think he was 79. Yeah, I miss him every day. He was a great mentor to me in business, a brother from another mother, and I just loved him dearly. He always had an answer and a direction. And he wrote the best instructions on a restaurant napkin all the time. He'd get his pen out, his felt tip pen, and he'd write out instructions for you. It was so, so cool. I really appreciated that. Well, what two vehicles am I talking about? Short trips, long trips. Those are the two. Every vehicle out there on the roadways is slotted into either or category. You're either a long tripper or a short tripper. Your vehicle either gets tons of mileage and lots of usage, or it sits around, and we're going to talk about that because they're both two different automobiles. You can have two vehicles, identical, same years, same makes and models, same engine size, even the same color, just for giggles, and one is a short tripper, one is a long tripper. And I'll tell you this, right off the get-go, the vehicle that's motoring down the highway and being used every single day they last a long time. If you change your mindset about vehicle maintenance, you can be part and a member of the 600,000 kilometer club. You can make 600,000 kilometers into miles if you want. Yes, you can. Fleet companies do it all the time. How do they do it? That's what you're going to learn in this upcoming video on our YouTube channel. I've really worked hard on this one and breaking down the mindset change and how that will put a ton of money back in your pocket, in your wallet, by simply changing your mindset when it comes to vehicle maintenance. You put 600,000 miles on a vehicle, you have made yourself some serious cash off of that piece of equipment, because that's what it is. That is your fleet right there. You're trucking up and down that roadway every day. You know, when I was with Volkswagen, I would put 16,000 kilometers on in 6 weeks. Actually less. I drove 90 minutes one way to my position. 90 minutes one way. So I was on the road 3 hours a day. They gave me a new vehicle to drive, and they would take it away from me like every 5-6 weeks. Gone. It had to be gone, and I'd get another one. And if you say, well, that was great, I didn't like it. Because, you know, I had to carry all my stuff with me. I couldn't leave anything in the car. And, you know, if you got a ding or a stone chip from somebody, I had to pay for it. It was a nightmare. Yeah, it was a nice perk at first. And then after, you know, when it's 10 after 5 and sales mangler comes over and says, we sold your car today. Here's the stock number. It's somewhere in the backyard. And it would always be 10 rows deep. So then you got to go get all the keys for all those vehicles that got to be moved to get you out. And then it's got the shipping wrap still on it and labels, and you got to take all that off. Sound like fun? It sucked with a K and a capital T. Not fun. But anyways, I packed the miles on. And one day the GM comes to me and says, you know, Motormouth, we can't put a trailer hitch on this place, you know? Yeah. So anyhow, I sold my own personal vehicle to get a company vehicle while I was there fixing the dealership. That was a bad mistake. I should have said this. You give me a car and I own it. And that way I'm driving your product, but you service it. And a gas card. Yeah. That would have been a better way to go in. I'd tell that to anybody. Yeah. Anyhow, I was trucking up and down that there was no shortcut to my home at that time. I lived in a little town called Fisherville. Yeah, there was no like shortcut. It was only one way basically to get out there on the south shores of Lake Erie. Yeah. No shortcuts. So I was working that car. And like many of you, if you're driving that hour, half an hour, 90 minutes, maybe more. Yeah, let me know. Where are you driving to? How much time do you spend on the road commuting every day? Commuting? No. Yeah, commuting. That's right. Commuting. Let me know. Yeah, you know, you guys are like truck drivers, but don't tick them off. You know what they call us? Four-wheelers. Yeah. Because the ones that drive like idiots, they want to take you off the road. I can tell you that. I worked in the industry. Many of you are lucky you're alive. Because some of these 18-wheeler guys, they're not impressed by your cowboy-style driving. Anyways, let's not digress. Let's bring it back home now. Bring it home, Motormouth. Bring it home. So those vehicles that are motoring up and down the road every single day, those are healthy. Those are healthy vehicles to buy. I've bought many a vehicle 200 to 300 kilometers, and you know what? They were just beautiful. Well worked in. If anything major was going to happen, it'll happen in the first year or two. First 60 to 80,000 K, 100K. If anything major is going to go, it's going to go ahead of time. That's why I say, you know what? Some of the best vehicles out there are off-lease vehicles because you get a vehicle rental for whatever reason, and you drive it like you stole it. Yeah, you treat it like a bad donkey, and you cruise that thing because you don't care. The whole demeanor changes when you get behind the wheel of a rental car. You know one thing, don't crack it up, but you can drive the daylights out of it. Those are great vehicles to buy because, again, in the first 100K, if something major is going to go, it's going to go. After that, it's gravy. You get it, you take care of it, you love it, you're the next caregiver. You will be a member of the 600,000-mile club before you know it. And it's still going. And there's still vehicle left. But there's stuff you have to do. So why is that? Why do they last longer? Because the vehicle's in motion for extended periods of time. So a lot of things happen. It keeps things moving, kind of like us, right? If we sit and become the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in the chair, the armchair warrior, eating a bag of chips, drinking a 2-liter of pop or whatever, cold snack, yeah, guess what happens? Your body decays. You get into a state of decay to a point where the doctor says, yeah, you're fat and you need to lose 60 pounds. Well, that was direct. Well, you're not understanding. Your health issues are because you're overweight. Now you got to work all those bags of chips and soda pop or cold snacks off. So now you got to get in motion so that you stop decaying. A car is exactly the same way. The more they sit, the more goes wrong with it. And we'll cover that in just a minute. So hang on, you short trippers. I haven't forgotten you. Here's where we're going. When that vehicle's in motion every single day, everything is moving and working. Nothing gets an opportunity to corrode and rot and rust and decay, except the body. You've got to invest in rust protection, period, because the rest is all fixable. But when the structure goes, it's over. She's singing. It's done. It's over. It's not worth putting the money into. You got to have a base to work with first. So that engine's running at normal operating temperatures for extended periods of time. Same with the transmission. You're moving fuel through the tank. Everything is working like a machine, a well-oiled machine. And you're taking care of it. That is a winner right there. But if you drive it and abuse it and don't service it, then it's going to turn into a collector's piece in no time whatsoever. And that's where a lot of you get stuck in the white noise. You can only keep it a couple of years. Factory warranty runs out, and you go and you start the whole process over again, going home to work, run on the wheel, jump off, lick the ball, get a pellet, and you never own a car. You're paying interest and principal until you make the last payment, and it's a pile of junk, and now you got to go and you do it again. That is, in my mind, over 40 years in the service bays, I cannot come to grips with. I can't. I look at today's prices. The other week I did a podcast, $58,000 sticker price without everything else in for a Jeep. Are you freaking kidding me? No, I am not getting on that hamster wheel and making that payment. And I'm not leasing it because the lease payment's less. You got to be out of your stinking mind. No, this boy, I'm out. Many years ago, I said, I'm done with that. I'm done. After the FJ, I paid it off in 1 year. I did not want that hanging over my head. I worked my butt off. I collected pop bottles and beer cans and all kinds of stuff to get that sucker paid off. And I paid it off 4 years ahead of time. I am not into that. And you don't have to be either. That's what I'm saying. You buy into the white noise to be what? In a vehicle to impress somebody you don't even know and you may not necessarily even like. Yeah, like when was the last time you invited him to the, summer barbecue? Just asking. You didn't. You know it. Just say it. That's right. Bring it to the table. So here's the thing. You keep that vehicle rolling every day and commute back and forth and caregive it and prepare mentally that that's the only vehicle you're ever going to be able to own. How are you going to treat it now? That's where the mindset comes in. I don't get vehicles that are like self-cleaning ovens. I'm sorry to tell you, yeah, I can fix it, but I got to buy parts and put the labor in. So if I'm putting labor in on that, I'm losing labor somewhere else. So it's a loss for me. But you know what? I'm not making those payments, and I am not working my butt off to be car broke. I will not do it. I won't do it. Absolutely not. I'll buy something with 300,000 K that's been well loved and taken care of, and all I got to do is take it over and keep going. Continue where the other person left off. They loved it, they cared for it, they appreciated it, they respected it, and they took care of it. And now it's my turn. That's what I call a goodie. Because when I turn the key, I'm making money. That vehicle is making me money. I'm going to a job or I'm going to do an event. Something is happening that's bringing the shekels home to the storehouse. You got it? So those vehicles that are doing that road tripping, there's no moisture building up in the oil pan, no condensation, no rusty crusties down there. Everything is running like a mill. And it doesn't mean you'd run it until the car can't go. That's what we're working on, turning that around. I am not talking to the person that says, I just drive it into the ground. Well, God bless you. You got more money than brains. I mean that respectfully. Can I walk behind you with a wheelbarrow and a rake? Would that be creepy? Yeah, I just want to rake up some of that, non-required money. Yeah. You'll get used to me after a while. Anyways, so that's the vehicle I'm interested in. It's been commuted, working. It's been working. And that's what I want. Now, flip coin, because we don't want to go into a 2-hour segment here, because I could go off on a tangent, but I won't. I've got it under control. Short trips. These are vehicles that fall into a category. Here it is, brothers and sisters. It's gonna probably get you between the eyes, but it is what it is, and it is what it is not. Severe service. Severe service. That means your vehicle, I wouldn't touch it. If that vehicle's 11 years old and it's got 30,000 K on, it's going to give me tons of problems when I start really driving it. Because brakes rust, they corrode heavily, and that's money all the way around. I had a number of seniors that lived in a residential home, and they still wanted their independence. They wanted to keep their car. Those things were train wrecks. Every single one. I remember we went to go and pick one up. I hopped in it. The exhaust was laying on the ground in the parking lot underneath it. It all fell off. All of it. From front to back. It fell off from corroding. The rust was so bad underneath the floorboards, you could use a pencil and poke a hole in. And it was sad because from the ground up, the vehicle looked amazing. Inside looked like brand new. The mileage was usually less than 50,000 K, and it's done. Honestly, it is over, and she's singing. We'd get them on the hoist, and sometimes I'd be even afraid to put them on the lift because they're so corroded underneath. The cars were sitting on the parking lots, rotting away. Rotting, literally rotting away. I'd put exhaust on them every 2 years. because they're sitting on soaking wet blacktop with no rust proofing, protecting anything, and the vehicle will have maybe done 100 kilometers since the last time I had it in the shop. Severe service. So if you're trying to hibernate that vehicle and keep the mileage low, you're killing it. You're absolutely murdering that vehicle in a slow, painful death. Unless you have that vehicle in a garage that's hermetically sealed in a plastic bag, and it's what do we call it? It's being properly humidified, so there's no moisture. It's on a thermostatic controlled environment. That vehicle is dying a very slow, painful death. So if you're hibernating it and afraid to put some mileage on it, don't even own a car, because as from a service tech's point of view, that thing is a disaster to keep it going. The tires rot. The exhaust rots away. Every hanger, every nut, every bolt, every exhaust flange rots off. And then when somebody actually drives it, pieces start falling off. The brakes, you can't. We could not keep brakes on those vehicles. Not because of the mileage, because of the non-mileage. In the engines, they fill up with moisture in the oil pan. Moisture in the oil pan is acid mixed with the oil, and short trips, lots of carbon, lots of unburnt fuel in the motor oil. That motor oil is basically like battery acid for the lower bearings and lower part of the engine. Absolutely destroying a perfectly good engine because the oil gets quickly contaminated from short trips. The engine's not working hard at 195 degrees Fahrenheit. The thing never gets a chance to warm up. It goes zzz, over here, zzz, back home. You know, there's no mileage, no long runs. It's a vehicle killer. Low mileage. Packed away in the garage, sitting in the driveway. Biggest killer ever of an automobile. Ever. Emergency brakes seized. The brake drums are corroded, rotting. They're rotting. There's rot setting in under the vehicle because there's moisture laying on the floorboards. I'd see rust so bad. In fact, a good example was the 2008 Nissan Rogue that was donated to Car Connection, and after looking it over, decided to use it to shoot a bunch of videos. Let's see if we can't put this thing back on the road. One more year, had it sat 6 more months, it would not have been savable. It would not have been worthy of saving it, because there's some areas that develop some very heavy, scaly rust, and that's the stuff that is deadly to the structural integrity of any vehicle out there. So we have some vehicles that we put together over the years, over 31 years, that we use to go out to fundraisers, car shows, events, or if we're invited somewhere where we can set up and meet the people, we'll take 1 or 2 event vehicles with us. Those require a ton of maintenance. So when they come out in late spring, early summer, they get a complete look over. Everything. Why? They've been sitting 6 months. They go away the end of October. We do one more round with them end of October with Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Bzz, they get put away. When we bring them out, they need work. Yeah, they haven't been anywhere for 6 months, but I'll tell you right now, they will all need something, some attention. So they fall in the category of severe service. And those of you who have, collectors' cars, antiques stuffed away, you know what I'm talking about. They always need something, and you got to stay ahead of the game, because the maintenance will get away from you very, very quickly. And I've gone to look at muscle cars, been packed away in a garage for 10, 15, 25 years. You can see a lot of videos on YouTube about that. Vehicle been stashed away for 40, 45 years. There's the example. Parked has 1,000 miles on it. Look at it. It's a decrepit, sad-looking state. How did it get there? Lack of performance. Not working. So if you are one of those vehicle owners that is in that severe service category, you really got to step up the game. Regardless of whether you go, well, it just has low mileage. Yeah, that car needs service all the time. It should be in the shop every 3 months, minimum. If you want to keep it and keep it going, you got to do more maintenance than the guy and the gal that's booting it down the road. Every single day that vehicle's working. Most of the time the engine's still glowing like a nuclear meltdown because it never sits still. Those vehicles are amazing to get your hands on because they're performers. You worked all the bugs out. Now you got the gravy. Just keep being the caregiver that you need to be to keep it, and it's making you money. That vehicle that's sitting in your garage all the time or under the carport or sitting in the 3/4 stone driveway is dying a slow death. I don't care how many miles you have on it. You're not saving it. You're killing it. And the short trips kill the engine way sooner than somebody that's cruising down the road. The engine's working hard, and there's no contamination building up in the oil, acids from unburnt fuel, carbon deposits, and moisture, condensation, huge killer. You go up to the store, up to the W store or the big C store, and you go back home, and it goes back in the garage. So the oil's cooling down. It hasn't really been working hard. You can't make any French fries in it. It's not hot. Moisture builds up in the oil pan on the bottom of the engine. That's what happens because there's air. There's a level of fluid, which is where the oil's all settled, and then there's air above that. That's where condensation comes in. As the oil and the air are cooling in the oil pan, that's where the water droplets come from. In the gas tank, same thing. When you park that in the garage, is the gas tank stuffed full of fuel? No. There's a level, and then there's air. Guess what builds up above the fuel level? Condensation. Because the liquid in the air are two different, the ambient air temperature affects both. The temperature of the liquid and the temperature of the air. And there you get condensation building up on the ceiling of the fuel tank, corrosion and contamination. There you go. That's the short story. So if you're trying to save that vehicle and keep the mileage low, it may look good from the ground up, but I'll tell you what, when we get it on the lift, there's lots of problems. Lots of problems. And the engines you really need to change the oil in it once every 2 months. To be in all seriousness, that's what you need to do once every 2 months. Not a penny less. Because the acids are eating the bearings on the motor, and it's going to take that motor out with low mileage. They start knocking. That's what happens. The bearings loosen up from the acids. The babbitt on the bearings gets etched away, and the tolerances get bigger. You lose oil pressure, and the engine's not tight anymore. It's sloppy loose. Same with the transmission. It's got an oil level in there. When you park that thing, there's the oil level for the transmission. Then there's air. As the oil cools down, the air cools down, there's condensation in your automatic transmission fluid. There, I can go on. Same thing with the brakes. Same thing with the power steering. Same thing with the cooling system. Never gets a chance to burn off the contamination. So what happens? Everything starts to go to pot. Just like that. Plain and simple. So, short trips versus long trips. What actually wears cars out? That's the short story. That is the short story. If you want to see that corrosion I'm talking about on that 08, Nissan Rogue only had just barely over 100K. It looks good from the ground up underneath. Rusty crusty. I banged as much as I could out and then put the sauce on underneath, corrosion free, to protect it, and brought it back to life. 6 more months, that thing would have gone to the wrecking yard, and that would have been a sad deal. A very, very sad deal. You can watch those videos on our YouTube channel, all the work that we did to bring that 2008 Nissan Rogue back from the brink of the crusher. It was on the edge of needing to just see the crusher go to the boneyard and get picked over. Yeah, that's what happens. So, same with it. You'll be able to watch all the videos for the 97 Jeep TJ Wrangler that we were sent. We rescued it from the crusher. Everything that we fixed on it is all documented, and you'll learn a ton of things from that, step by step, how we brought that vehicle back to life, taking care of repairs and negligence. No repairs, lots of negligence, not taking care of business, not fixing stuff, not doing basic maintenance, not doing regular maintenance, doing absolutely zero. And you get to watch all that. Watch how we just bring a vehicle back from destruction by simply doing basic maintenance, catching up on the repairs, bringing it back to life, one story at a time. And we're there. It's ready and drivable. I just got, after this morning's program, I'm going to head out there. I've got to change a bushing on the clutch pedal because it's sloppy loose. Make sure that our new clutch isn't going to get tore out. And it's drivable. Now, so you can watch all those videos all the way up. We've done some upgrades just to show you how you can do it and how you can do it yourself and save a ton of money and create something from nothing. And at the end of this particular shoot on this 97 TJ Wrangler, that's the first year apparently of the TJ. I've learned so much about Jeeps, never owned one, never even would fix them in my shop. I didn't like them. They got too many problems. And we've learned a lot, Skippy and I, shooting the videos, and brought it back to life. And wait till you hear, I'm going to share at the end of this how much it costs to bring that vehicle back to life. And I'll tell you right now, it ain't $58,000 on the sticker price. Not even close. It will blow your mind. You'll go, what? You did all that for that? And you got a Jeep out of it? Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole purpose of the YouTube channel, to show you, is it doable to put money back in your pocket, lots of it, and still have an automobile and pack the miles on that sucker? Because mileage in this boy's heart means absolutely nothing. I never bought into that death gargle of the salespeople. No disrespect, but I know you got to sell stuff to make a living for your family. But you know what? Not off my back. It's just like the takeout stores. If they were relying on me to support them and feed them, they're going to die. Because I take my thermos on the road with me. I like my coffee the way I like it. And I don't mind packing a thermos. I did that for many years on the road, doing fleet maintenance. It's just a habit. And my coffee costs me 15 cents a cup. And I can have it when I want it, where I want it, and whatever I'm doing. For 15 cents a cup. Gourmet coffee in my thermos. That's what you learn from our certified financial planning professionals. I took my drive-through money one year. We tracked it for a month. I was spending $400 a year on drive-through coffee. And I took that away and got a thermos, and I've just carried on that mindset. And I know at minimum I'm saving $400 a year on somebody else making me a cup of coffee, and usually it's not the way I like it anyway. Yeah. I like my coffee the way I like it, period. That's my thing. I don't have any habits, but I love my coffee the way I love it. Done. And 15 cents a cup, that's money back in your pocket. So till Monday morning, what are we going to be talking about? Well, I thought you'd ask. I've got that prepared. So I hope you pull some nuggets from this, because I'm in your corner. I am in your corner. And I had some great teachers in the service bays that were hard on me, tough on me, and teaching me stuff. And I remember my one military boss, he'd always say, he'd take something apart. If you sucked at something, it would arrive in your service bay and it would all be stripped apart. And then he'd say, there you go, that one's for you. And that's how I learned how to become a master electrician, a master at clutches, cylinder heads, ignition. I'd always be shooting geese out of the air because I never got the firing order right. And every vehicle that came in my service bay for a tune-up, the distributor, all the plug wires, everything was pulled out and put on the bench. And that's how I learned. And he would say, now, put that back together. I'll be back in about 20 minutes to see how you did. And here's what he'd do. He'd look at it and look at you and look at it and go, what do you think? Is it right? Is it right? And if he said, I'll be back in 10 minutes, tell me what you've done wrong. That was an instructor. Big time. That's how you learn. So I'm sharing that skill set with you to help you put more money back in your wallet and be part of the 300,000, 400,000, 600,000 kilometer or mile club and make yourself money with your car every day. So have fun. Have a super duper weekend. Get out there and do stuff with the kids, the fam. Gather. Do things. Just do things. Keep moving. Keep it moving. There's a time to sit and be still, right? But keep moving. Keep the juices flowing. So keep it under 100. Watch out for the other guy. Be careful of your driving habits. Don't be a kook out there. And remember, peace, patience, and kindness always. Put the coffee on. I'm going to come to your house. Bye for now.